there is a place unlike any other.
So we put our hands up.
Hey everybody, this is Tony Zanders with Nexus Louisiana. I'm here at our Tech Tailgate. Today we're about to face Florida and beat them, go 3-0. That's less exciting than a person I'm sitting here with who's working on something that, no exaggeration, is literally changing the world. This is James Robert, from an LSU grad, also a Catholic High grad, who's now working with new technologies such as 3D printing to help improve mobility for people who have disabilities related to their ability to walk or move. James, thanks so much for joining us today. Before we started this, we started a thread around sort of how you got started with this project, what inspired you to work on this. As a software entrepreneur myself, I know that your personal experiences do drive the problems you decide to solve. So why did you decide to sort of help MakeGood and start working on 3D printed wheelchairs?
So for me personally, I was born with a physical disability. I'm missing the majority of my left hand. And growing up where I didn't have access to the resources that I now see available. To be honest with you, I didn't even know prosthetics was a word, much less a field, much less something that I personally could change in the future. So getting into high school, I went to school here in Baton Rouge, like you said, Catholic High. And there I met some incredible people who put me in contact with folks here at LSU. And they began developing sorts of prosthetics that could help me to originally lift weights so that I could be a better athlete, right? So,
what sport were you interested in?
So I played football, track, basketball, swimming, and cross country.
Come on.
In high school.
Wow.
And I was the team manager for basketball and track.
So that's not a triathlete. That's like a quintuple athlete. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can't sit still.
Yep. Can't sit still.
No. So in high school, I was connected with some folks at LSU. They helped me to develop these weightlifting apparatuses. And then through that, I began to work at a prosthetic clinic, actually, here in Baton Rouge. And through that, I basically fell in love with the practice and decided to gear my life towards making sure that what happened to me doesn't happen again. So that people from rural or low-income communities who just don't know that this stuff exists can have access to it. So I obviously went to LSU, started in engineering, then quickly...
Which engineering discipline?
I started in mechanical engineering, did my first full year in that, then quickly switched out because of thermodynamics, I will admit that. And then I went to a few business majors for about a year, and then I switched to kinesiology, which is the study of the body, study of medicine. Graduated with that in 4 years, and now I'm starting my master's in health administration. And then after that, I plan to get another master's in prosthetics and orthotics specifically. So that way I can be a licensed prosthetist to make prosthetics, and then I want to incorporate 3D printing into that space to level up the prosthetics game, to make that more accessible to people across the world, ideally.
So most of us that don't have a recognized disability are new to the world you're introducing us to. One way to help just acclimate us is around money and cost. You mentioned that the cost savings from a project you worked on were quite substantial. Tell us about the project itself, and then get into sort of what cost savings that presents to the average sort of person that's dealing with these types of issues.
So I have two very good examples of exactly what we're talking about here. So one of the projects that we're still wrapping up and are about to fully launch is a fully 3D printed wheelchair. Ground up, everything including the straps, bearings, tires, seat cushion, whole 9 yards, even the handles, like everything is 3D printed, and it is for ages like 8 months to 8 years old. or 9 years old.
Wow.
On the size of the child. So with that, insurance companies don't typically approve wheelchairs for children in that age range because the child will grow out of it relatively quickly, and because children need to be able to prove that they can use something of that magnitude to actually justify purchasing it for the family. So what we do, or the idea behind what we're doing, is to make something that's 3D printed to cut down on costs, cut down on delivery time, and to help children develop those muscles necessary to prove that they can use a wheelchair. So we priced it out before we started, and the average price for a toddler wheelchair, the size that we're looking for, would be about $870 to like $1,200. And it would take a few months to get sized and fitted and then shipped to the family, right? We can build one start to finish in 3 days for $130.
So I'm not going to drop this mic because it doesn't belong to me, but this is a mic drop moment. Talk to us, James, about the role you played in the project. Like, so, a lot of folks, describe really amazing things and then they kind of leave it. But, what was your role in the project? How were you involved?
So I was personally involved in helping us bridge the gap between all of our partners. So this project actually started in, I'm just going to say the Middle East because I don't remember what country specifically it was, but we had a partner in the Middle East who was building these toddler wheelchairs out of wood and like wrought iron. So he reached out to someone, I'm not 100% sure, but we got in contact with him and we started helping him develop seat cushions because the raw wood on the children wasn't ideal. So we started working with him, and then we started to...
And sorry to interrupt, what year was this? Just orient us to time. Like, when was that roughly?
23, two-ish years ago, 2.5 years ago, was when when we got in contact with him about the seat cushions. So after the seat cushions, we started helping him tweak the design of his wheelchairs, and then we helped them develop a better use of material. So instead of using 8 pieces of plywood, we got him down to 1 piece of plywood per chair. So that way it could be more efficient in how he produces it. From there, we went to partners with Tulane and the Lynx, no, not Lynx. I think it is the Lynx organization, to build a better, more efficient design with all materials. So with the cushion, with the wood, with the seats, with the wheels, everything, right? And they're based here in the US. So with them, we started working with Tulane as well, showing this blueprint to students at Tulane and showing them how to design it, how you go through the process of trial and error. Does this work? Does this not work? How can we improve it? And then from there, we began working with the Lynx organization, and we started a 3D model. So this 3D model, we took and we chopped it into pieces. Like think about cutting it like a potato in quarters, right? Yep. The whole potato is not gonna fit in our microwave, so to speak. So we gotta cut it into quarters that'll fit, so we can cook the entire thing and then put it back together. So I kind of came in around that time when we were working on the final designs. And I started helping with the slot fits that actually holds everything together. So because the wheelchair is so big, each piece has to be broken apart to be able to fit on our different printers, the microwaves, to then come together, and then everything is friction fit. So once it slides into place, you put a locking pin in, and then it's good to go. It's bulletproof. So that's where I came in, and then I helped with the back-end assembly and the data collection. So giving it to the families, hearing what the feedback is, and then trying to give my input as a designer to what we can change to make sure that, okay, if we put everything together, but this handle breaks, instead of getting them an entirely new wheelchair, is there a way that we can take the handle off, print a new handle, and then put it back on? So it's more like Legos than a solid construction.
So I want to say thank you, because even as someone, again, that doesn't have that type of disability, I can recognize the importance of it. So as a software entrepreneur, our version of this is to focus on things like web accessibility, and so making sure our software is like WCAG2 compliant, to make sure people can access the information on the website using screen readers, assistive technologies. So that is, I would say, the easy mode. What you're doing with hardware, physical, is hard mode. And so I just want to congratulate you, because it's not easy solving problems with using physics and physical dimensions. And so the other thing I want to sort of close up with, as I'm learning more about you and I'm introducing you to our community. So Nexus is a statewide organization that brings together people building new technology, investors who want to fund new technology, also stakeholders who want to use the new technology. And so if there's one thing that you could, a message you had for our community, what would you want them to know about your work, so that as those of us as taxpayers, as again, users of technology, can help you along with your mission?
Absolutely. This is actually a saying from the owner of MakeGood. What is it? Health is a temporary condition. At some point, all of us, our bodies are going to break down. That is reality. At some point, I'm not saying you specifically, but some of us will develop arthritis. Some of us will have back problems. Some of us will need walkers. Some of us will need canes. Some of us will need crutches. My job is to make sure now that when my time comes, or when all of our time comes, that technology is accessible and that anyone can use it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with James Robert, who works with MakeGood, building 3D printed wheelchairs, reducing costs for people who need these devices. We're at the Nexus Tailgate against University of Florida on September 13th, and we're just honored to be with you, James. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
With the 4-track bustin', halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can.